As promised, the hardworking Carcino returns to continue the story that started with Chingy and Nelly. Now, this dwells into the reason why Nelly and Luda fell out. See, Luda and Nelly were cool. Like they were tight, loved each other, like work and stuff like that. And Nelly was never the type to be like the hater type. He came in very appreciative. And once he started doing his own style, he didn't come in following nobody else, saying, "Oh, you know what? I'm a copy dude style." That wasn't Nelly. He came in doing his thing, and you can't hate the kid for that. But situations turned from from nice. He saw how the business worked. In other words, Nelly blew up in 2000. You know, when the 2000s came in, he came out with what was that? Country Grammar. Then Nellyville came in. When did Nellyville come in? In 2002. And when Nellyville blew up and he sold all them records next to Eminem, his album went diamond and sold that many records. There was a situation that was uh that was brewing because Luda had his label DTP. And Luda was like, man, wait a minute. This dude just sold 10 million records. I need that energy. So when Luda seen that and saw what was developing, they did a show together with them before. It was Nelly, DDP, and it was like, oh, okay, this is what's up. So everybody was caught on that page, like thinking like, okay, they all together. And Shaka was like, look, they got some young boys opening up for them that's ripping the show. Like these young boys, like they got some talent. This kid here, he went to one of the shows and he saw Chingy and saw what a lot of people saw. Like he was the best one they had out of the group. That's why Chili felt a certain way when the homeboy in his group, who Nelly wanted to sign Chingy anyway without them two. And then to get back at him, they used his homeboy to make the diss song. Like, yeah, go ahead and diss Chingy. When the beef was on and he thought Ali doing that was low down. Like why would you go grab dude to make him do that? That's just, that's just, stupid. But anyway, he came out blowing up the scene in 2000 right along with Nelly. So a lot of people thought Luda and Nelly was, tight and they was like, look, we're going to work together and do all this stuff. But when he came out with word of mouth and all this stuff, he was promoting his records, and they saw Chingy, they saw opportunity to make a move. So they took Chingy and signed him to a deal with DTP. But when it was the way they did it, they went around, they went in on Nelly tour. He shook up with Nelly, went to the game with Nelly. They sat courtside at a basketball game. He mentioned nothing of it. And Shaka's at the game, at the concert, he was there from the beginning, from the opening act on, and said, look, these dudes got a guy that he ready for the next level. He ready for that. He got that whole swag. So we don't really need Nelly. These guys already got a buzz. They got girls screaming. So he signed Chingy. And Nelly saw the move and thought like, oh wow, this what Dirty was on. That's why he was getting so close to me. Once I saw did Nellyville and I blew up, oh, this is the game he want to play. They just gonna come in here and try to poach our talent because they want that sound. Oh, dirty wild for that. So Nelly felt a certain way. So it was on. You know what I'm saying? The two really didn't speak too tight after that. DTP and the Saint Lunatics wasn't really feeling each other at that moment. It was like, dog, you coming in here trying to mess up our thing and just pick what you want and sign them to your label, and you don't even like tell us anything like that. Nah, that ain't cool. So now I can't rock with you. And that's how Nelly is, and that's Midwest right there. But Luda's from the Midwest too. So it don't even, he from Illinois. He's from Champaign, where he used to DJ and radio, got a degree in communication. So this led to a big situation where, well, no one was gonna touch Luda anyway. Shaka wasn't having that. That wasn't finna go. But the problem is they sat down and had a conversation. Some of Shaka people and some of the people from St. Louis. They sat down. They had a little convo and things went very probable. They saying, look, dude came to us. They tried to say Chingy came to them. And that's when they were like, oh, he did? Like, why would he do that? He was like, man, we love to have you. But he wanted to work with Luda. He's like, I wanted to work with Nelly, but Nelly never said he was gonna sign me. We was just on the thing. He was just like, look, I would sign you, but I ain't gonna sign the rest of them as a group. And they were like, that's how we feel. We ain't finna sign the group. We want to sign you. But he felt that he wasn't gonna get no love from Nelly, and Nelly was kind of hating on him on the tour. So when they found that out, that's how the energy really shifted over to Chingy more than Luda. But it started off with beef with Luda. So that's how that went. Luda didn't see Nelly as competition for him, even though he sold that many records. Luda didn't have that type of motivation. Luda was doing a movie at the time called Fast and Furious. He had just did that. He was working on another album, Chicken and Beer. So when he was working on Chicken and Beer, Chingy album was being worked on at the same time. He got I-20 and everybody on the album helping out because this is what they wanted to do. They wanted the Chingy to come out right with with Luda, so it could have a big push and come out and do some great numbers. It was great marketing. They did their thing, but that led to an even bigger situation coming up because Nelly was a little hot under the collar about what happened, but he was just like, look, okay, it's dude's fault. It wasn't Luda. Luda said they came for him. So I can't really go after, I can't really go after my man's there because, he said he didn't do it. Like, look, what do you want from me? Now, people believe that I'm not really a sweatsuit fan, but they say it's a diss song on there for Luda, but I never heard that. But the album to me is a compilation of mixing everybody on the song. Like that sweat and suit or whatever, the double album thing gimmick that they did, which was the downfall of them. Everybody was like, "What is this garbage?" I mean, it's just what it was. Some song called "River Don't Run" with Murphy Lee or something like that, and Get You" or whatever. Another one and all that stuff. This was like the dissing out. So I don't know. I can't tell you. I know exactly about the song. I never heard "Nah Nah Nah Nah" when they sampled the Hail Mary beat. "Nah Nah Nah Nah" song. That's not my thing. So I'm just heard that it's on now. Luda never responded. But what ended up happening was a fallout for part 3 between Chingy and Luda. I'm out.